Good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome back to Fat Cat Collections. And today I want to talk about home security, surveillance, right? There's lots of different cameras out in the market there. I just want to talk about a few of the different brands and a few of the different features you might want to look for when making the decision to purchase a home camera setup, okay? Now, there's two different kinds out there. You have, or not two different kinds, but there's several different kinds. So bear with me here while I explain. So you have Wi-Fi cameras, which a lot of them are. You have hardline cameras. Then you have power over Ethernet cameras. And then, of course, you have battery-powered cameras. And, in some cases, solar-powered cameras, which are still battery-powered cameras. So there's pros and cons to all these different cameras and different types of home surveillance cams. When people ask, what do I have, or people at work, or I get questions on YouTube, what do I think about these different types of cameras? I'm always big on bang for the buck. Now, you can get, your Arlos cams. You can get some of those big brand name cameras out there that you're gonna find at Best Buy and spend, $400 or $500, $600 for those cameras when you really don't have to. I'm a huge fan of Zomato. And Zomato makes all different kinds of cameras. You can pick them up for relatively cheap on eBay, about $200 for an 8-channel setup. And something to consider when you're buying a camera is, does it have, and most of them do, but I just wanted you to keep it in mind, does it have motion sensing, tracking, is it a pan, tilt, zoom, does it have cloud storage, free cloud storage, subscription-based cloud storage, is it Wi-Fi, is it power over Ethernet, a lot of things to consider. So first thing you think about when you're thinking about, let's talk about security, is outdoor security. Monitor your backyard, your garage, maybe a shed that you have out in the backyard of the property, your hot tub in my case. Lots of different things to look at. One downside to having to home security or camera system is the fact you can only see out from your house, okay? And the advantage of having ones that are battery powered or solar powered is that you can see at your house, which is another nice angle. Unless you live on a property where you're prepared to, where you have maybe an electrical box, you can plug a Wi-Fi cam in and receive that signal. Or you have the ability to dig up your lawn and run a line with conduit for that camera, you're not really going to be able to get that shot looking at your house. Unless you have a neighbor willing to, maybe you're both looking at security and you want a camera, he wants one facing him and vice versa, maybe you can work something out. But in my case, all my cameras, with the exception of a few, face out, okay? So, first off, most people are like, oh, I want a Wi-Fi camera system. I want to be, and you want to be able to record it, of course, on your network and view it remotely, okay? Zomato will let you do all that. And so I have one of the ones I have two different ones. I have an NVR 4-channel and an NVR 8-channel. And what they basically do is, one is power over Ethernet, which means your signal cable, they're hardwired cameras, they work without Wi-Fi. And I'm a big fan of hardwiring anything. I mean, Wi-Fi is great, but hardwiring, if you can do it, is much better. If I ever construct a home one day, I will spare no expense making sure there are Ethernet cables everywhere, because it's nice to have the reliability of a solid wired connection. Power over Ethernet is great because they come with a very, very small wire. It's smaller than a telephone cable. You get signal and power through that cable. Downside is that unless you have a crawl space under your house, which I don't, or you have an attic, which I do, you're going to have to run those lines. That means drilling through walls, climbing around places, a lot more involved to running those wires. The advantage of Wi-Fi, you just have to plug it in, hook it up, and it works. Disadvantage of Wi-Fi is very rarely do we have outlets on the outside of our house. Inside the house, yeah, pretty easy to plug one in, find a spot for it. Outside the house, totally different story. You're going to have to run extension cord. You're going to have a power adapter on the thing. It's not the easiest thing to hide and to install it in a slick way. The ones I have, I did the best I could. I mounted them in areas where there were electrical boxes, and that's really the only thing you can do. So you have to think about your house, what you're going to be working with, where you're going to be putting them, and know that you're going to need an electrical box. So you only have about 6 feet of wire, and if you're going to plug into an extension cord, you're still going to have that box, that plug on the end there. There's no way around it. Power over Ethernet, small wire, but you're going to do some crawling around, and you got to tack it. But it's white, blends in with most houses. So I got both. I got the best of both worlds. I have those Wi-Fi cameras for areas where I have a plug. Great example is in a windowsill if you want to use it inside your house. Again, you got to turn off the night vision if you're going to be firing through a window because it's going to reflect and you're only going to have vision during the day. But great way, the camera's protected, easy to tack a line behind some curtains, plug it in, and you're good. Same thing if you want to add that somewhere downstairs, put the camera on an end table or mount it to the wall, hide the line, you're good. So Zomato cameras, they basically come with an NVR, depending on which one you get. I got the 8-channel. My Power over Ethernet basically allows you to view the cameras directly with a monitor hooked up with a VGA cable to the NVR. Both those do that, the Wi-Fi and the other one, and the Power over Ethernet. And they allow you to hook it up to a TV. I'm sorry, the NVR, the smaller NVR with the 4-channel, you can hook it up only to a HDMI cable to a TV, whereas the 8-channel one I have, you can have both. So it'll actually run HDMI to the TV and the monitor. So, which is great because then you can be at your desk or you can be in bed, wherever you want to have it hooked up, you can hook it up, look at it on a computer, via online, or through the app on your smartphone or tablet. So lots of different ways to view the cameras. So that's what I recommend for any kind of camera system. $200 is going to get you a really great setup. Yeah, you're not going to have the ability to pan, tilt, and zoom. There's not many people making affordable versions of that. Now, if you want that for inside your house, there are options. One I recommend is the Zomato pan tilt. You can pick that up on eBay for about $50. That'll basically, your NVR, if you have the Zomato hard drive, will actually pick up that feed. You can add that, and it'll be recording on your NVR, still view it remotely. Motion sensing, alerts, tracking, all that stuff. So, and infrared. So that's a great device. Now let's talk about outside. Let's say you have a situation where you want to have a camera facing your house. You want to go ahead and you're not too concerned with the battery, having batteries. The advantage to the battery-powered cameras is you can put them anywhere. And the one that I have is one sponsored by Argus. It's called the Argus 2 by Reolink. And that one's a self-contained battery-powered camera, fully weatherproof outdoors, infrared, motion tracking, alerts, all that stuff. Pretty much what any of them do. But the cool thing about that is it has a solar panel. And that'll actually charge the batteries while it's running on battery time. The disadvantage to a lot of those cameras that are battery-powered is to conserve battery life, they're not always live. So they're not always recording. They're only recording when there's motion. And so that can be kind of an issue because if the camera picks up motion, records your clip, and then that motion, it's not picking up somewhere, maybe for whatever reason, I've had that happen, whereas it'll pick up my motion and it just stops recording because it didn't see the rest of the motion, you're not going to get the full footage. So if you want to have continued footage, like for instance the front of my house, not always is somebody within that I guess motion detection zone. But with the Zomato, I'm able to scroll back on the NVR and actually look at that footage. It's always recording, just at a lower frame rate, lower resolution. The Argus 2, those battery-powered cameras, they're only recording when there's motion detected. So keep that in mind. But you do have the luxury of putting them wherever you want. Downside to that too, what I don't like, is the fact that depending on where you're going to put them, they're kind of stealable. And really, they're pretty easy, especially some of those other brands like, I think, Arlo. It's a magnetic base, and so that thing you can basically just pop off and go home, reset it, and hook it up on your own system. So if you naturally you're going to be recorded, but there are ways around everything. So that's the only downside, that they are pretty stealable, and I wouldn't want to put something like that somewhere where somebody could reach it. You can be putting it higher up, out of reach, but then again, if it's not solar powered, you're going to have to access that. So if you have to get on a ladder to put it somewhere, you're going to have to get on a ladder to take it down and charge them. And again, a lot of them don't have a solar panel. So keep that in mind. So that's the ones I recommend. Zomato and the Reolink Argus 2 been great. Now, as far as indoor security, if you want to have an indoor cam to watch your dog or watch your kids or whatever, the one I have behind me here, this is sponsored, and I actually bought one of these prior to getting one. Is right on that table there. That one right there, little box. That's the Wisey Cam, and you can get that for $20. It does all that the other ones do. Onboard recording with a micro SD card, motion sensing, all that stuff, and $20. Not weatherproof, but if you're gonna put it inside, that's a great option to introduce home security, into your home. I will tell you, my experience with having this stuff is the peace of mind it's given me has really been priceless. I mean, anytime that there's something going on, if something's out of the ordinary, maybe a planter's knocked over, you know, other situations come up, you can always check. Nosy neighbors, you can always see, and they will pick up that alert. It'll pick up that motion, send you an alert to your phone, and you can quickly look at it. It'll take a picture, and you can see right there, oh, okay, neighbor pulled in my driveway. Oh, that was the postman ringing my doorbell. It's peace of mind knowing you can check on your home or your property or wherever you want to put these things, your business, at any given time. And so I think that that is just priceless. So I highly recommend Zomato, I highly recommend Wisey, and I highly recommend Reolink. Reolink you're going to pay a little more for, about $100, and with the solar panel, $150, you're going to get 1 cam. If you have the ability to use the Zomato, you're going to get a lot more for your money. But, you know, I use all three in conjunction. I use the Wisey ones generally inside the house. I use the Reolink with really wide angle lens to get the entire backyard, to keep an eye on my hot tub. And I used all the other ones everywhere else to keep an eye on the rest of the home. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you very much for watching and subscribing. I know I didn't show you any product right now, but check out my other videos. I've reviewed all this stuff, and I just wanted to give a quick, kind of a quick Q&A video here, just for a lot of the questions I get. You know, I respond to the comments, but sometimes it's easier for me to just kind of talk to you guys about it. So, all right, guys, have a great day. Take care.